Alrighty, there we go. What is up? I'm 3D. This is from the driver's seat. Ooh. A little bit of heartburn on that one. The thing about cooking for myself, I always overdo it and end up giving myself heartburn. But hey, I guess that's what Tums are for. Anyway, what's up? I just got done at the gym. I'm on my way back home. Tried to figure out the whole rewards system that they have at the gym. It was not successful. Well, it was and it wasn't. I didn't get to redeem my free drink, but in the process of trying to do so, I did figure out how. In other news, let's see what else we got. Planning our first live events for the 3D Nation stuffs. I'll start putting links in the description when I do these. I think it's probably beneficial to do so. Plus some keywords. I guess I like to vlog, but I don't like to, like, you know, not be lazy. Yeah, that's it. So, at least when it comes to that, perhaps it has something to do with, at least tonight, with me not sleeping very well last night, but I can't speak to my experience every night. In other news, let me see what I got coming up. So for the Intoxication Nation live stream, we're gonna figure out a good night to do it. I think I'm gonna start with some polls, I guess. I'm gonna throw up a few different polls and see when people would be interested in tuning in. There may even be a chance to, like, get added to the Hangout and be involved in the conversation with us. But obviously, that's going to be on a limited basis. I swear I heard somebody honking, but I don't see anybody around me. Red Dirt Paranormal. That little endeavor is going to, we're going to live stream an investigation, and to do that, we are going to need to acquire a mobile hotspot of some kind. There's some technical jumbo that gets thrown into it. As long as the hotspot has, like, a data signal that we can use. Like, it doesn't allow, well, I guess it would have to be a particularly strong signal in order to live stream the whole thing. And I don't really know how those transmitters are going to interfere with equipment like K2s or the electromagnetic field detector. So, we'll see. It's not a particularly, I like the K2s, but they're not especially super reliable as a testing instrument. But depending on retest reliability and that sort of thing, like, you can kind of gauge whether or not something is a legitimate attempt at communication. Like, we'll get into that. That's podcast fodder right there. So, other than that, essentially, let's see. So we're going to be doing an investigation for that live stream for the Intoxication Nation. Road noise is a little loud tonight, or it could be that I was working out and my own voice still sounds muted in my own head. It's a weird side effect of working out. Plus, I haven't been to the gym since, I guess, Sunday. So, it could be, well, it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other. Anyway, could just be that I need to pop my ears. But we'll get into the fun stuff. Intoxication Nation live stream, probably going to play some Cards Against Humanity. or some such. Might do some ungame just to have really interesting conversation. It's always a really good, fun conversation starter. Tell me about what makes you angry. What grinds your gears? Like, those are fun questions. Like, I should ask you guys just to answer me in the comments section, just some random ungame question. Like, where does pain go? That reminds me, back in the day, probably about 2008 to 2009, I had come up after a night of drinking with a friend of mine with a concept that I called the psycho-Socratic method. And basically what that entails is someone asks you a question. You respond with a completely random, totally unrelated question. And watch the look on their face. You get this moment of like, I know what's going on here and you don't, joy. Because they look at you like, are you with me right now? And you kind of are. So you have to give them that cheeky response back. Like, hey, have you seen Jake? Where does pain go? No, like, really, I'm trying to find Jake. He's supposed to be my right home. Have you seen him? Who invented purple? Like, no, seriously, I don't want to be stranded here all night. What are you doing? What is a taco? You know, just random shit. But I digress. Psycho-Socratic method. I coined that phrase back in like 2008. Might be the name of a podcast. Who knows? Psycho-Socratic method. And it sounds like psychosomatic, like when you experience a somatic symptom in response to a psychological phenomenon. Damn, my lawn needs mowed. I intended to do that today, but I did not. Also, just sort of driving over some of the weeds. I cheat just a little bit. I've also noticed that birds hate my cat. Probably for very good reason. My neighbor just scared the shit out of me. But yeah. So birds hate my cat. They will actually follow her around the yard and just chip, 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 chip. Non-stop. It's insane. I don't... Like, I know why they're doing it, because she probably killed one of their homies, and they are not going to let her forget it. But they just harass her all around the yard. I let her out because I'm a bad cat owner. I know, whatever. So, well, I guess she has to go out, you know. I'm not super good about cleaning the cat box anyway. Whatever. So, and I can tell where she is at all times, because it's like, okay, I hear the chirpies from over here. Chirp, chirp. Okay, it's over here now. Chirp, chirp. Like, she's either over here in the bushes or over here in the driveway. I know exactly where she is at all times based on the bird banter. Like, whatever's on the bird band is where she's at right now. So, maybe I should only let her out at night when the birds are sleeping. Because, you know, if they're following her around, chirp, chirp, chirping, they're probably dive bombing her. But I guess she wants to go outside, so maybe she doesn't mind. Anyway, that's it for me. I have bantered on, rambled on nothing long enough. So, I will see you tomorrow, planning on recording. We will have a guest with us. I will save that surprise for you. Patreon, Intoxication Nation should drop on Friday. I may or may not set it to release public. Full free access, you'll be able to find it on iTunes. Should be up by Monday. So, patreon.com/3dnation, $5 a month. You'll get to listen to it on Friday. or you can listen for free when it drops on iTunes. Should be 2-3 days. Up to 7. I'll give myself up to 7 to get it posted to the free services. So that's what you can expect. 3D Nation, patreon.com/3D Nation. All of our podcasts, you'll have early access to that. Patron only content starting $5 and up. You'll get access to live streams and even physical swag, believe it or not, at one point. So that's coming out soon. We're going to have some fidget spinners. We're going to have some beer stein-shaped stress balls. I'm ruining all the surprises, but I want you to know that there is like some real-time like loot crate stuff coming out. We're going to find some... I've already told you about the fidget spinners. We're going to have some stuff for the other shows as well. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. I'm 3D Radio. No, sorry. I'm 3D. I'm only 3D Radio in certain places. Don't look me up. It's embarrassing. I'm 3D. This is Tales from the Driver's Seat, and I will see you tomorrow.